And then we go to, and answer the,
No, I was here, because we're working on the curriculum.
Oh, are you going to see the tulips?
So we were downstairs, we were going to the music, and then Steve put together what chairs for the top, and Steve was doing that, and then put together a new room for Kia.
What time in April?
And then I go through the books, because the lesson plans, we were
Which is, because I'm going with my cousin, we're going to, well, we're just doing land, but we're gonna start out. And because I was there last year, but I ended up too late. And this year,
I was calling your name, Sue.
but I'm not playing mine.
I put mine.
I was calling your name because Steve said you went in the kitchen.
Oh, I did, and then I came out.
But I was in there yelling your name.
How did that happen? Well, you might as well, you know.
Well, I took it all.
Just don't ask anyone.
He said,
The well is dry.
She wanted it all.
I started looking for some of the
He
books.
is fabulous.
Yeah, I mean,
We're teaching again this fall now.
I'm still not doing it.
I'm here.
for what the,
Mine.
I don't care.
What is your,
Drive me crazy every time I
what
drive.
is your back for?
Are you playing yet? Are you playing yet? No, I'm not playing.
I
really
She
like
was
it.
perfect. She has money, but she.
I would like to
I was
learn,
here,
but I don't
we're
know.
here trying to figure out what books we need to order, what we actually might have, and whatever. And Shabbat said,
Shabbos, welcome. Terry, hi, Shabbat. Hi, Shabbat. And I'm sorry to say, I'm going to around. So you get my,
well, we got, put together the 16 chairs for the room on the top. But you know what, the delivery is, I ordered three different colors, and I ordered all at the same time. One came in on UPS, one came in on US,
so
one came in on FedEx, and one is still out there, same color, same time, everything's changed. It's nuts. And then I guess you guys came, because we put Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 for delivery, because
okay, I got to do.
And
She
you,
was gone.
yeah, well, because she had to go to pick up.
She didn't post that, and the FedEx guy came in 5 after.
But we had said 10 to 2. They don't ignore it. Yes, Steve came in at 9 this morning to put together some more of the chairs. They had dropped the other boxes. Yeah, they had dropped boxes outside. I mean, honestly,
Well, I was running out and he was huge box. And I said, I want to, he said, can I just talk about this, Patty? I said, sure, and then I let Shabbat know. But it was, I came to talk to her, and it was not after, like 5 after 2.
I know she told me she had to leave. And that's what we
Was
said,
this
I
like
thought she was
7:30?
leaving at 2:30, normally she does.
But how do I know? And she told me at 10 and 3, whenever.
Didn't
You know what, when
years
she's
ago?
But I know what, what?
Didn't you play canasta years ago?
No, I've never played in my life.
And
And I
Mary
would
said
love
she
to
played,
learn.
Lauren said she played, and they all want to learn. Well, we'll
I
have
wanna
to get.
learn.
I want to learn, I never.
I
We'll
told
have to
trying
get
to
a
nail
shot.
the shell down is like catching a cat. What? Trying to nail the shell down to doing something on a specific day and time.
Well,
It's
Michelle,
like
that's
trying to
thought
catch
she would play canasta.
it doesn't
I
happen.
haven't seen her, and I don't know how long.
Right, right.
Well, I played pickleball.
Cheryl,
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Cheryl, make us a short.
I'm counting.
Skills out.
Steve and Harold are outside.
We're all right then. Rabbi, we have I asked Robert to give me with and without, so I know what to do.
But yes, Steve and
Cheryl, I did it for you last week because you weren't here.
Well, I'm only doing today. You did it last week, and,
Well, I've done two, and I'm done, I'm retired.
well,
I am not doing it anymore.
I think Joel is doing it next
next
week.
week, that's what I heard.
And-
Hopefully,
She's back after that.
No, she won't be, but I can't do it on the 26th.
and I can't either, and so Sue, if she feels better, will, if not Barry, so he would do it.
Okay.
So you go Friday at 10?
Yes, sir. She also suggested, Rabbi, that if we want to, we can have a potluck dinner that night and just say some prayers during dinner. Well, I'm not even gonna be there. So
I have a commitment.
It's not up to me to make it.
That's the last
26. Okay. We do.
Last week, Harold got, we didn't have enough, and they didn't want to not say the caution, I know there's all kinds of. Harold got on FEMA, said to the people out there that you can't see, anybody that's listening, we need one for a minion. And just before I was ready to say, Wanda comes running in. Here, 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 here. She came running in, she said, this is terrible. Sorry.
There are other ways to do it. I'm very creative. And what the rabbi doesn't know won't hurt her. She gave me permission to do what I think is necessary. Okay, we've had this discussion. If I have discussed this with her, though, it's not a new conversation. Ah, don't run. Don't run. Don't run. Okay. Yeah, thank you for coming. And we're going to get started, and then we can schmooze again after. I appreciate you all coming out today. Oh, hello, Harold. And good Shabbos to everybody. Let's start with Shalom Aleichem on page 5. Oh, do we need to light the candles? I can't do that. Mindy, would you do this? I don't light things, okay? I can't do that. Thank you, Mindy. I can't do that. It's good to see you. What knee surgery? You're having knee surgery?
Okay, maybe I can't light the candles. Is this all we have?
Oh,
Is there no backup?
oh, wait. Here's another one. See if that one works.
Ooh, that's a long one.
There's a third one.
Okay, anybody have a match?
There's a third one. They probably don't have any whatever in it.
I don't know how to do this.
Where's her? Ah!
Oh, let there be light.
Thank you, Mindy.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu shel Shabbat. Amen.
Hadlik Ner Shel Shabbat. That's okay. That's right.
I sing terribly, but they all know.
I always tell my non-Jewish friends that in Judaism we chant everything, and a good singing voice is optional. Page 5, Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet,
Malachi Elyon. Mi melech Malachi Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech Malachi Lachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech Malachi Lachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon. Mi melech Malachi Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I don't know about you, but I already feel at peace. Shabbat is the best antidote to stress. Page 11. I don't know what melody you all do for this. Okay. Lechune ranena, lechune ranena, lechune ranena, ladonai. Lechune ranena, lechune ranena, lechune ranena, ladonai. Naria, naria, letzur yish enu, nikadma fana bitoda. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, nikad mafana betoda. No, that's it. We're done. I know. Page 14. 14. At the arrow. Okay. All right. Yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim. Yismechu hashamayim. V'tagel haaretz. Yeram hayam. Yeram hayam. Yeram hayam umla'o, Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam umla'o, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Page, we're going to read responsively in English, Psalm 98 on page 17 and 18. Sing to Adonai a new song, for Adonai has wrought wonders. God's right hand and holy arm have brought deliverance. God dealt faithfully and kindly with the house of Israel. The very ends of the earth saw our God's saving power. Let the sea and all that is in it roar. the earth and all who inhabit it thunder. Let rivers clap hands while mountains sing in harmony. Greeting Adonai, who comes to judge the earth, judging the world with justice and the nations with truth. This is the descriptions in here and the visions in here. You can just, it's just amazing. You can visualize them, you can touch them, you can hear them, and that's what this is all about. Page 20 at the arrow at the bottom, please. All right. Ramemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kadsho. Ramemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kadsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu ramemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu ramemu. Ramemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kadsho. Please rise, and we'll do the Psalm of David on page 21. I don't know what melody you used for this, Mindy. Do you know? Donai b'nei elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz. Havu l'Adonai kivod shemo, hishtachavu l'Adonai b'hadrat kodesh. Kol Adonai al hamayim, al hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim. Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai behadar. Kol Adonai shover arazim, vayasham ber Adonai et harzei halvanan, vayarkidem kimo egel levanan b'sirian, kimo vein re'emim. Kol Adonai hotzev lavot age, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kodesh. Kol Adonai yecholel ayalot, vayechasof ye'arot, uvhechalo kulo omer kavod. Adonai lamabul yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech leolam. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivorech et amo v'shalom. And you may be seated. And we're going to turn to page 23 for L'Chadodi. And I have the option of what we're going to do. So we'll do the first two verses and the last two verses on page, I think, 25. L'Chadodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'Chadodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabla. Shomor v'zochor b'dibur echad, hishmi'anu echad yuchad, Adonai echad ushmo echad, l'shem ol tiferet v'lid hilah. L'Chadodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat לכוונך, כי היא מקור הברכה, בראש מקדם נשוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Page 25. V'et Adonai taritzi al yad ish ben parzi v'nismecha v'nagila lecha dodi likrat kala p'nei shabbat nekabela boi v'shalom ateret bala גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. And if you would please turn to page 27, and we're going to read responsively in the English on 27 and 28, please. The Song of the Day of Shabbat. It is good to thank you, Adonai, and sing to your name most high, to proclaim your love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. You gladden me with your deeds, Adonai, and I shall sing of your handiwork. The arrogant do not understand. The fool does not comprehend this. The wicked flourish like grass, and every evildoer blossoms, only to be destroyed forever. Surely your enemies, Adonai, surely your enemies will perish. All who commit evil will be scattered. As my enemies gather against me, my gaze remains steady, for my ears listen and hear. In old age, they remain fruitful, still fresh and bountiful, proclaiming, Adonai is upright, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Okay. And is anybody observing your site tonight? Mindy, okay. On page 30, we'll do the Kaddish and Herald. Yeah, so if you please rise, page 30, we'll do the Kaddish. Right? Yikadav yikadash me rabba b'yama divra kirute b'yamlich machute b'hayachon uvyamechon uvchaye dechal beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'meru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarak le'alam omaya yitbarak v'yitzabak v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar v'yitalad v'yitalam shmei dukudusha berechu le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata da'amiram b'yama v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya lim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'meru. Amen. Well, on Rabbi's social calendar here, Um, we have, this is the time for our Devar Torah. And those of you that have been around when I've done services before, you know, and I'll explain all of you, that I read the Torah for the week, whatever the Torah portion is, and I go around looking at different commentaries from different sources, get my own thoughts, throw it all together, and this is what comes out, okay? So this week, the Parsha is called Hukat, and it's the story, it's very interesting because it has different stories going on, as most Parshot have. And in the beginning of the story, Miriam dies. Miriam is Moses and Aaron's sister. She dies, and they bury her where the community happens to be. And the people, and I'm going to talk about that period a little bit, and I'll tell you later what happens after that. But the Israelites have just reached the wilderness of Zin. And desert wilderness is something to behold. There's a lot of nothing. And the people find themselves without any water. That happened to me once. I was in the desert without any water. It was not fun. So the people quarrel with Moses bitterly, complaining that he brought them out of Egypt just to die in the wilderness. Moses and Aaron then turn to God, who tells them to take up the rod, speak to a rock, and order it to provide water. So what does Moses do? Not that. Moses takes the rod, and with Aaron and all the people there, he says, "Listen, you rebels, we will get you water out of, shall we get water out of this rock?" And then Moses hits the rock twice with his rod, and water gushes out of the rock. That does happen in the desert if you ever see it. And so, but God is very unhappy with Moses and Aaron. And he says, because you did not trust me enough to affirm my sanctity in the sight of the people, therefore you shall not lead this congregation into the land that I have given them. So what does it mean? They didn't trust that he would provide water. They decided to take it upon themselves to do it. And God didn't tell them to hit the rock. He told them to talk to the rock. So it was quite a thing. So in addition to that, Moses and Aaron failed to remind the people, or worse, themselves, that their power comes from something greater than themselves. They alone did nothing. Therefore, they were punished for not only acknowledging the divine as the true source of water, but showing that to the people. God decides that it can no longer be Moses and Aaron that will lead the congregation into the next phase of their journey. As we all know, they never made it into the promised land. Commentators have offered a variety of reasons for Moses' behavior and his punishment from God. What did he do wrong? Was it so egregious that he deserved the punishment that God gave him? So Rashi, we all know who Rashi was, he explained that Moses struck the rock instead of speaking to it as he was directed. However, other people have other reasons. The Rambam suggests that it wasn't Moses' actions, albeit striking the rock, but rather his anger at the people that led to God's rebuke. Moses' name-calling of the Israelites, "you rebels," does not befit a leader of Moses' stature. and was one of the reasons he was punished. The Rambam not only notes the power of language to uplift or destroy, but also the significance of the intention and feeling underlying our words. And yet there is something unsettling about his explanation. Haven't we all been in that place? Certainly there have been times when I know I have misspoken in a moment of frustration. We know better, and yet, like Moses, we miss the mark. Understanding that this happens doesn't justify what happens, but surely it humanizes the biblical story and relays a more relatable portrait of our great leader, Moses. God's reaction, though, is unequivocal. Yes, we can feel anger and we can get frustrated, but acting in anger and frustration is never okay. Furthermore, Moses' anger was directed at the Israelites. And this might reveal something deeper. As I mentioned, Moses' sister Miriam had died just in the verse before this episode. So maybe he was just grieving and wasn't quite himself. Maybe he couldn't manage his emotions and it just got the better of him. That has happened, I think, to us all. But the Israelites were traveling in the desert and they were thirsty. They were pretty fair and correct in their request for water. That's something very basic. They were very whiny and they quarreled, but they were not unreasonable. Their request was not unreasonable, I should say. Moses was not going to get anywhere with the Israelites until their physical needs were met. Until then, there was little possibility of any effective exchange. We all know we've raised little kids, and when they're hangry, you're not going to get them to do anything. So that was part of what happened. They were thirsty. They wanted it in that moment, but he should have known better. So what could Moses have learned from his emotional response? And how might that insight have better informed his choices at that time? How might we apply these lessons in our own lives? In what ways can our understanding of Moses' response help us better navigate, manage, and investigate our own emotions? So, anger is not a positive thing. And so what happens after this little thing, I don't know what the part of the parsha is going to be tomorrow, is the Israelites went on in their travels, and they went from this country to this country to this country. And it was a very difficult journey, because every time they came upon a nation, they said, oh, we've struggled, we were slaves, we're now free, we're just going to walk through your nation, we're going to stay together, we're not going to bother anybody, we're going to leave everything alone, we just want to get to the other side. And consistently, every nation said, no, we won't allow you to do that. And the Israelites pleaded and begged, and they said no. So they had to go all the way around every nation and take the long way instead of being able to go across. And this happened time after time after time. So their journey was even longer. And it just was not a good time for them at all. And next week, we'll pick up that story. But at this point, they're just they're trying to get around and get where they want to go. And next week, we pick up the soap opera where we left off today. When I taught religious school and I did Torah, I had a group of young women in my class. So I taught them Torah as a soap opera. And certainly Genesis is a soap opera. And so we mapped it out on the board, who begat whom and who killed whom. And if you really look at it that way, and somewhere in there are the lessons of life. And what I marvel at is how our Bible, which is the basis of our faith, has such imperfect people in it. Not one character is perfect. Look at Moses. He had a problem with his anger. He may have been a great leader, but this was not okay. And I just marvel that these are not perfect people. And we can't forget that. We have to allow them to be imperfect. So I thought I told you about the soap opera before, but I think about it, it works. It's like a series like Dallas or something. I think we're all old enough to remember that. How Peyton plays. That, you know, everybody's involved and there are ethics and morals going on, but nobody's perfect. And we just have to try to take the higher ground. Attempt it, anyway. Page 39A for Barhu. And I think we rise for that, please. Barhu et Adonai Havara. Baruch Adonai Havara Le'olam Va'ed. And y'all can be seated. Uma'avir yom umevi laila. Umavdil ben yom uve laila. Adonai tzavaot shemo. El chai v'kayom tamid yimlach aleinu li'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. And if you would, please look on the other side of the page on 39A, and let's read together God and Nature, an interpretive translation. Beloved are you, eternal God, by whose design the evening falls, by whose command dimensions open up, and eons pass away, and stars spin in their orbits. You set the rhythms of day and night. The alternation of light and darkness sings your creating word. In rising sun and in spreading dusk, creator of all, you are made manifest. Eternal, everlasting God, may we always be aware of your dominion. Beloved are you, Adonai, for this hour of nightfall. And page 40, please. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael amcha ahavta Torah umitzvot hukima mishpatim otanu lemadeta Al kain Adonai Eloheinu b'shachbenu uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismak b'divrei Toratecha uv'mitzvotecha li'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu v'orech yameinu v'orech yameinu uvahem nehege yomam v'layla yomam v'layla v'yavatachalta sirimenu li'olamim baruch atah Adonai ohev imo Yisroel. Please turn to page 41 for the Shema. And we will follow the Shema with the V'ahavta in Hebrew and in English. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Ve'afta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiktecha b'veitecha Uvelektecha avaderech, uveshachbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beineinecha, ukatavtam al mizuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all that is yours. These words that I command you this day shall be taken to heart. Teach them again and again to your children. Speak of them when you sit in your home, when you walk on your way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a symbol above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your home and on your gates. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Page 44, please. Umachuto baratzan kiblu alehem. Moshe uvnei Yisrael lachanu shira v'simcha rabba v'yamru kulam mi chamocha v'oelim Adonai mi chamocha neder b'kodesh nohora tehilot osei fele machuta charuvanecha b'kei hayom lifnei Moshe Za'eli anu v'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed v'ne'emar kifadad Adonai et Yaakov ugolo miyat chazak bimenu baruch atah Adonai go al Yisroel. And if you join me in reading the piece on the left-hand border, margin, I guess, the canopy of peace. Let's read that together. Peace comes to us in the recognition that we allow ourselves to be vulnerable. When we recognize that we cannot control everything, redemption can be achieved. The central image in this prayer is the sukkah of peace. The sukkah is a fragile structure, open to the elements. Peace is pictured not as a temple, solidly built, gilded, perhaps ornate, but rather as created out of the most fragmentary of materials, leaving us vulnerable and at risk. Ushmor tzeitenu uvoenu l'chaim shalom me'atavi ad olam uvrosh aleinu sukat shlemecha baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'yakol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. And please rise for V'shamru on the top of 46. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני I'm sorry, we already did that one. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam barit olam. Please remain standing for the Hatzi Kaddish. Yikadav yikadash shemei rabba, b'yama divra kerute, v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, ba'agola u'v'zman kariv v'yimaru amen. Yeheshmei rabba mevorach, le'olam ne'omaya, yitborach v'yishtabach, v'yiboar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dikudisha berechu le'ela, min kol bechata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Damin Rambiama V'yamaru. Amen. Remain standing for the Amidah. And on Friday night, we do this silently. And this is an opportunity to read what's in the prayer book or just communicate with God, your God, in any way that speaks to you. So take this opportunity. Please turn to page 53. And let's read together the bottom paragraph in English, please. God, who promised protection to our ancestors and assures life to the dead, the incomparable holy God, desired to give rest to the people Israel, and so provided them with the holy Shabbat. We worship in awe and reverence in God's presence and offer thanks to God's name each day, always. The source of blessings, the master of peace, God, to whom all thanks are due, sanctifies Shabbat and blesses the seventh day, providing sacred rest to a people filled with joy, celebrating it as a symbol of the work of creation. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, ritzei b'minu chatenu, kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein helkenu b'toratecha, sabeinu metuvecha, v'sabchenu b'shuvatecha, v'tar libenu liyavdecha be'emet, v'chani lenu Adonai Eloheinu b'yava uvratzon shemecha kadshecha, Shabbat kadshecha. Yanuchu beit Yisrael mikadshei shemecha. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh haShabbat. And we'll do another Kaddish Shalem, but you don't need to rise this time. Yikadav, Yikadash, Yikadav, Yikadash Shemei Rabbah, B'yalma Divra Kirotev, Yamlich Machutev, V'chayachon Yavimechon, Uv'chayedachol Yisrael, V'agolav Izman Kari V'yimaru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, Le'olam Le'omei Omaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach V'yishtabach, V'yitbar V'yitramav Yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudusha, Brechu, Le'ela Min Kol Berchata V'shirata, Tishbachata V'nechamata, Da'amiram B'yama V'yimaru, Amen. Titkabal Zelo Etchon Uv'Etchon, Decho Yisrael, Kadamu V'on Dev'Shemaya V'yimaru, Amen. Yehi Shlaba Rama Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu V'yakol Yisrael, V'yimaru, Amen. O say Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'yimaru, V'yimaru, Amen. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'yimaru, Amen. And it's time for Mishabera. So many pieces of paper. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak V'Yaakov V'Imanotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah Hu Yivarech Viravet, our list, I guess, Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim. Alehem Lachazikam Oratam. Huh? Yeah. Which part do you sing? Oh, Misha Berach Avotenu. It's, oh, do the names first? Okay. Thank you. I don't know the choreography. Okay. The names we have right now on this enormous list. And when I finish it, you may stand and offer Misha Barak, a prayer for healing for anybody that's in your life. Dan Siegel, Danielle Rice, Gittel Glasser, Ari Saunders, Ariella Alfieri, Bill Bucks, Estelle Laurie, Lynn Alexander, Marjorie Morstein, Diane Hickey, Barbara Feingold, Harriet Siegel, Lori Kahan Simon, Nadine Hyman, Ed Tansky, Irene Friedman, Gary Kramer, Arthur Stone, Diana Saltzman, Victor Alfieri, Francis Haber, Michelle Stupak, Caitlin Weathers, Danielle Santini, Julia Bernanke, Teresa Timmons, Esther Rowe, Suzanne Gott, Joan Klepp. Yisraela Bat Zipporah, Estelle Rice, Shulamat Bat Binyaminu Malka, Gary Hutcher, Deborah Haggerty, Susan Ullar, Megan Contino, Natalie Kogan, Kelly Fenish, Rob Richard, Candace Dobro, and Sue Lasser. Anybody else? Mindy. Yes. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. All right, Mindy, you want to start this? Misha Berach Avotenu Abraham Imotenu. Source of, oh, it's the one on the left. It's us. Before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor Habracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Thank you, Mindy, for being my assistant tonight. And we're up to Aleinu on page 56. Please rise. Aleinu l'shabbat l'adon hakol l'ateit kedula leotzer breshit shelo asane kegoye haratzot velo samanu kamishpachot hadama shelo sam helkenu kahem v'garamenu kechol hamanam ayonachnu karim u'mistachadinu modim liftei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shmayim v'yotzer haaretz u'moshav yikara b'shamayim mima'al u'shmi na'tuzo b'gov hei meromim hu Eloheinu eno emet malkeinu echesulato hakatu v'toraita yadata hayom b'toratecha, Adonai yimla li'olam va'ed, v'ne'emar, v'chaya Adonai, l'melech al kol ha'aretz, v'yom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. And you may be seated once I close this. I always think about putting kids to bed when we close the doors. You know how you softly close the door when your kids went to sleep at night so you wouldn't wake them up? Oh, I did that 30 years ago. Mourner's Kaddish on page 58, please, for those observing. Oh, I have to read the list, sorry. Thank you, Harry, for reminding me. It takes a village, people. We're observing the following yahrzeits this week, and if anybody's person is not on this list, please let us know. Hyman Lender, Miriam Chernoff, Marvin Tamoff, Beatrice Robinson, Jenny Arkin, Stephen Berger, Moses Kingoff, Punk Berwinkle, Leon Haber, May Diamond, Louis Wertheim, Jean Refan Khan, and Noah Carlton Collin. Anybody else? Okay, page 58. Yikadav Yikadash Shmei Rabbah, Bialma Divra Kirute, Viamlich Machute, Bechayachon, Uvyamechon, Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agola Uvizman Kari Vimaru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarak Li'olam Omeo Maya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudusha brechu le'ela v'in kol berchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata da'amiram b'yama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'ramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'maru, amen. Do we have a Bima buddy? Harold, my bud. Good Shabbos, Harold.
Good to be back in cool South Carolina.
Where were you?
California, 118 to 120 for a high.
Ah.
But it was dry heat.
Yeah. You just needed a lot of water, as we talked about earlier.
Plenty of water. Let's see. Tonight's Oneg is sponsored by Francis Haber. Tomorrow by Robin Greenfield. Announcements. The rabbi, as we all know, is away for the month and returning in August. If you need anything, contact the office for assistance or have an emergency. The office will be closed this coming Monday, but the email and phones are being monitored. Honey from the Heart has free shipping on all orders. Please purchase your honey until August 8th. Don't forget to order your delicious honey for Rosh Hashanah while also supporting CBI. Friday, August 9th is the installation of the new board during Shabbos service. Sunday, August 11th, there will be a welcome back and open house. It will kick off the school year, introduce CBI to those looking for a synagogue home, and for all members to learn how they can become more involved. Please save the date and be here. We need everybody to pitch in and just do little things. Some of us can't do it all. Weekly reminders. Turning Points with the Rabbi will resume in August. Sunday is beginning Hebrew, which they've been doing this for about 9 months. With Fred at 11 o'clock in the social hall. He's mustering on through. And Tuesday, adult education class with Fred meets at 5:30 via Zoom. Call the office, look in the bulletin for how to log in. Or call me, I'll give it to you. I have it written at home. Please look at the CBI website, newsletter, bulletin for more information on all these programs. Birthdays. Today's the 12th. The 14th, Barbara Feingold. 16th, Jeffrey Siegel. Also, Allison Duckworth. On the 17th, I don't have any chocolate for him. The rabbi didn't give it to me. Where'd Steve run off to?
Probably to go check the water.
No, I already made.
I don't know what you put out there. You did water.
No, I did coffee. So Steve's going to be 39 again.
Oh, yeah.
Linda Heltzman is on the 18th. Give her a call. And Max Lasser is on the 18th. And other than that, everybody
Thank
have
you,
a good-
Harold, for
good
catching
Shabbat.
us up to date on what's happening here. Any other announcements for the good of the order? Okay, page 211 for Adon Olam. Anybody have a melody they're akin to? Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Li'et Nasa Behefsa Kol Azai Melech Shimoni Kravi Achare Kiklot HaKol Levado Yimlok Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Hoveh Vehu Yiyeh V'tifara Vehu Echad V'yein Sheni Lahamshilo Lahakbira B'li Reshit B'li Tachlit V'lo Ha'oz V'hamisra V'hu Eli V'chai Goeli V'tzur Chevli B'yet Sahara V'hu Nisi Umanosli Menot Kosi B'yom Ekra B'ya'ado Avkid Ruchi B'yet Ishan V'ya'ira V'yim Ruchi Gaviati Adonaholi V'lo Ira. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Please, next move is into the social hall for a little schmoozing and a little nosh. Happy birthday, Steve. I do not have chocolate.
celebrate.